Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Tonight we welcome John Buzzanca, who is the author of The Smuggler's Daughter, which is a gripping true story that chronicles the journey of a former drug trafficker who leaves behind a life of crime to face a complex legal and emotional battle. This book is a landmark surrogacy case that reveals the raw truth of redemption, identity, and the definition of family. It blends high stakes suspense with heart trending humanity, challenging assumptions about justice, parenthood, and the power of second chances. The narrative is a cautionary tale that highlights the importance of resilience, love, and unexpected paths to new life. I'm pleased to welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show, John Buzzanca. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, Stephen. Thank you for having me.
Wow, wow, wow. I was telling you before we start recording, I said, what a twist. Who knew you had this past life?
It, yeah, it was quite a ride.
Yeah, yeah. So tell us, why now did you decide to write this book to tell your story, this memoir?
Um, when the surrogacy story broke,
Mm.
it was written that vilified me, and it was written from one side. I was just portrayed as the bad guy, and I figured it's time for me to. This happened, 98. It
Hmm.
was time for me to get my side of the story out.
Yeah,
It wasn't everything that had appeared in the media,
yeah.
on the news. It was, believe me, I was horrified by the whole thing.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So take me back. What led you to the life of drug dealing that eventually led to smuggling? What led you to that?
Well, it certainly wasn't something I was looking for.
Mhm.
It just circumstances, I guess all the stars lined up, and I just was in a place. I was young. I was living that beach surfer lifestyle, and that's, as everyone knows, that's kind of a party style. And I just started meeting people. I was working in Newport Beach and meeting a whole lot of people, and one thing led to another, and it was just everything kind of snowballed until it took a life of its own. It wasn't planned
Yeah, yeah.
or sought. That wasn't what I was not looking to get into that. That wasn't a dream of mine or a goal. It just, I don't know, it just happened.
Happened. Yeah. And
Yeah.
how old were you around the time when you first got exposed?
I was in my early 20s, early to mid 20s. Yeah, early to mid 20s. And then it just continued till um, for like 16, 17 years.
So explain to the audience the difference between drug dealing and drug smuggling.
Um, well, with drug dealing, you're, for me personally, it starts at you start out. You meet someone that has something to sell. I
Mm.
started out selling tie sticks. That was a big thing back in the day, back in the 70s.
Okay.
And from selling tie sticks, it went to selling pounds. Coke started becoming a big the thing back then. It was everywhere. And the quantity just grew exponentially. And I couldn't even tell you how I met all these people, or I couldn't tell you who all I was selling it to. I mean, they were all friends at the time, but I can't remember. But it got to the point where like every year it was just multiplied and then it got to the point where I was meeting people that were uh, very closely connected to the people that were actually bringing in loads. And I started talking to people. I was getting, just by chance, I was meeting people that had actually smuggled loads. And that just, I was intrigued. All of a sudden, I thought, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And I kind of became obsessed with it. And I was listening to the way they did it and the mistakes they made. And I thought I had a plan of fail-proof that I would outsmart the authorities.
Yeah, yeah. Did you ever feel like, wow, I'm in too deep, or were you just attracted to the fast money? I know you said it was quick money. Were you attracted to that?
No, I was attracted to. I was attracted to the action, to the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rush.
once you do that
Hmm.
and you continually get away with it, it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
And it's hard to shake that.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can. So, how did you feel your upbringing, like your family upbringing, how did that contribute? And did it contribute to you ended up in this drug smuggling ring, or were there parallels there?
Absolutely not. I
Okay.
came from a completely normal family.
Yeah.
Grew up both parents my whole childhood and my adulthood. They were law-abiding citizens, didn't smoke, drink, went to church. Yeah, I was completely the opposite.
Because
I
interesting,
went astray.
they always blame the parents. They didn't raise their
No, no, not in this case.
children. So did your parents ever find out that you were doing this, and or did they know you were doing it at the time, and what were their reactions?
I think my mom had an idea. Well, I think both my parents had an idea, but my mom passed away early,
Mm.
and this was right when I was in my heyday. And my dad, after my mom passed, my dad had an idea, and then reality set in when I got arrested. Yeah, he had to bail me out.
Okay, okay. And what was his reaction? I know he was shocked. He was like, "This is not what we
He
raised."
was supportive.
Oh, he was good.
Yeah, he wanted to be there for me.
That's good. That's good. That's a good parent for you.
Yeah.
They stick with you. So how long did this last? How long did this drug business last?
Well, it started on a very small scale in 75, and I got arrested in 91 with a plane load down in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Mm,
We were actually dealing with some people over in Juarez.
mm, wow. It wasn't scared. Were you scared at any point during all this, or are you still on that rush?
No, I must have like a blue collar mentality because my whole thing was just getting the job done with no problems.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, I think I showed that, and because of that, I was trusted. And I took it serious. I didn't take it like it was fun and games. You know,
Mhm.
like that one scene in Blow where they're landing a plane in broad daylight and everyone's jumping up and down. No,
Yeah.
that isn't how it goes.
Right.
We
Right.
did we did everything in the dark, clandestine. It wasn't broadcasted. No, it wasn't
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you know you can't trust many people when you're in this industry, in that industry. Were you ever betrayed, or did anyone ever try to snitch on you or expose you?
Funny thing, yeah, I was someone stole and betrayed at the same time, and it was after I was out of the business. We had me and the guys I was working with, the crew I was working with, we were smuggling plane loads from Mexico, and we did that for almost 2 years straight, and we were good at it. And we were doing this so we could make enough money. We wanted to bring a boatload over from Thailand.
Okay.
We got everything set up. We had the boat. I flew over, yeah, the whole thing, and the guy that was kind of in charge, he hired a captain for the boat,
Hmm.
and that guy. Okay, let me take a step back. After he got loaded over in Thailand off the coast of Vietnam, and he calls us and says the boat was taking on water and he had to bail out of so we all scattered because we all had a lot of money invested.
Right.
And so people scattered in different directions and we all ended up getting busted over here. Okay, fast forward 3 years. Yeah, and I was working, I got a job. I was starting a new career.
Mm.
I'd been there 2 years. I get a call from my probation officer and says, the DEA wants to talk to you.
Wow.
And I said, okay. And the captain, the boat wasn't sinking. He stole it from us. And then he gave them my name. When they came to me, they told me I could either testify or they'd indict me for conspiracy. And I was already on probation. I'd already been arrested for conspiracy.
Yeah.
So, and this was like I had nothing to, I was done. I was out of, and that was the betrayal. Yeah, and I was going through the middle of the surrogacy thing at the same time.
Wow.
It was a little bit of stress.
A lot. What made you decide to step away from the drug business?
I had a choice. I could either step away and go down the path to legal and
Hmm.
do a 180, or I could have gotten back into it.
Hmm.
And I chose to go the other way. It was hard to see my dad.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. So how did you meet your wife?
I had a, I had some, I wouldn't call them guard dogs, but I had dogs. And when they were puppies, she was a dog trainer, and
Hmm.
that's how it started. And yeah, that was it.
And were you still in the drug world at the time?
Oh, totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I met her in 81.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were off and on for the
Uh-huh.
next, several years.
So what made you all decide, okay, we want to start a family, knowing that you're doing this? You
It
gotta,
it wasn't it wasn't exactly a mutual decision, nor was it a normal family decision.
okay.
She inherited some money from her grandmother.
Mm,
I'd been arrested 2 years earlier, and it broke me. I had two legitimate businesses when I got arrested, and I lost everything.
wow.
Um, so I had no money, and she inherited a couple $100,000 from her grandmother.
Hmm.
And when she couldn't, she had her own issues. I mean, it was a marriage of convenience. Neither one of us were accountable. She
Mm,
wasn't accountable to me. I wasn't accountable to her. So it was more convenient. It was a dysfunctional, to say the
okay.
least.
Yeah.
And she got this inheritance. And I think, looking back, I think a lot of it, the the obsession with having children or a child was because she wasn't capable of holding a regular job. I
Mm,
mean, it wasn't like she said, okay, we're down, let's work this out and work hard together and get
yeah.
things right. That isn't how it was. She
Hmm.
wanted to spend all that money on getting a baby.
Oh, wow. And so this is how you all got into going the surrogate route?
Yeah. And I wasn't overly, this is kind of arrogant and cavalier on my part. I wasn't overly concerned because she was not able to get pregnant. I mean, she tried. She was not able to she had
Okay.
female issues. So I I thought, okay, this will keep her off my
Hmm.
back. And so I went along with it. And but then IVF went from that to surrogacy, and then, you know, then it got to the point where it was donor this, donor that, surrogate carrier. And, I was done.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's more to it. The
Right.
details are in the
Without
book.
telling more, when I know when I try to tell the story, because it's definitely want everyone to read it. But how did you get to the point where you're in court over over the baby?
Okay. We separated at the end of the summer in 94. And I think I finally signed that it was like she was so obsessed. She was calling me all day at work. I'm just starting this job, and I'm trying. And anyway, just to get her off my ass, I
Yeah.
signed this contract. 2 days later, we moved apart. We never lived together again. And I signed it under the condition. She knew I didn't want a kid. I didn't want a kid. There was nothing right about it.
Right.
Everything was wrong.
Hmm.
And she said, I won't hold you responsible. I'll take care of it. It's not your problem. You're just helping me out. And little did I know that the woman was already pregnant when I signed that.
The surrogate mother.
Yeah.
Mm,
And so then, things went on. That's what started it. And when I filed for divorce, uh, she went after me for support.
mm. It became a big case, a big case.
It's set case law. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a case
yeah.
law. Yeah. So when you think about that, and I'm sure it was a stressful time for you, and I can imagine her as well. What is it that you want the reader when they read your book, The Smuggler's Daughter? What do you think? What do you want them to take away from this case and your lived experience?
Well, I'm not anti-surrogacy at all. I think because a matter of fact, I know I have friends. I know a gay couple that
Mm,
it worked for them. There's good things that can come out of surrogacy, but it has to be the right situation.
right,
Not It has to be a loving couple, first of all.
right.
I think they have to be mentally stable and they have to be financially stable. And I didn't check any of those boxes either. I mean, we didn't, me and
As a
my
couple,
former
yeah,
wife, we
yeah.
didn't check those boxes. And back in the 90s, they didn't, it was the wild, wild west. The surrogacy agencies, my ex-wife filled out the applications and I signed it. A few of them. I didn't sign all of them. She signed a few of them for me
Mm.
on my behalf. And you could lie on those things and they ran no background checks. They never, it asks you on there, have you ever been convicted of a felony? No. And that
Your past criminal past didn't even come up to play in this.
I could have been a child molester and it wouldn't have changed the outcome because they never looked.
Wow.
I mean, I wasn't obviously,
Right,
I
right.
mean, the fact is that that could have been, and there were no background checks. My understanding is now the agencies run a financial background
Mhm.
check, a criminal background check, a psychological background check, and a living situation. I mean, I was losing my house. She wanted me to go live with her and her mother. That it was just ridiculous, but
Yeah.
it didn't seem to matter. Funny thing is, as soon as the pending divorce became public, the surrogacy agency that she used filed bankruptcy the same week,
Wow.
and the doctors she was working with ended up they were doing some really they were committing malpractice. They were stealing eggs and impregnating women without their consent, using other
Wow.
women's eggs. They ended up becoming fugitives. It was with the Orange County UCI case, and they're still fugitives. They left the country, and uh, so the
Right.
surrogacy industry has some real shady. Uh,
I
it
can
has a shady past.
but do you feel like things have gotten better? From what you understand, do you feel like it's gotten better since then?
I suppose it's gotten better, but I don't know. California is a pretty surrogacy friendly state, and
Yeah.
passed they passed some regulations concerning surrogacy agreements. They have changed some things. Now a judge has to sign off on an order, and believe it or not, my case, Buzzanca versus Buzzanca,
Hmm.
is listed on every surrogacy case in California
Wow.
that it may, if you sign this, you're the intended parent. And then the judge has to sign off on that. And contracts are enforceable, but that started with me. And you have to have independent counsel, and
Mm.
there's some things, but I still wonder. I mean, I don't know who's overseeing the surrogacy agencies. I don't know about that,
Yeah.
but I don't know what kind of
But all has
guidelines they have to follow. I don't know, but
yeah.
I think it can be. Um, I think it can be a really fulfilling experience, but
Right. If it's
I
done
think
right.
if you, I think if it needs to be over. It should be. really regulated.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the little girl that was born from the Sarah, her name is JC. And
JC,
JC?
JC, yeah.
Yes, JC, and she's 30 now.
She's 30.
Um, does she have any relationship with you or her or your ex-wife?
My ex-wife's passed. She passed
Oh, she
away in 2022.
oh wow.
And uh, I have no relationship with her. I chose not to do that because it has nothing to do with her.
Right.
I didn't want to deal with the person that raised her.
Hmm.
And I don't have any. If I ran into JC, I would be more than willing to sit down and talk to her I couldn't really come across as a father. I haven't been her father.
Yeah.
I don't view myself as her father, but I'm certainly not a cold-hearted
Right.
person. I would sit down and talk to her. If she was interested in hearing the other side of the story, I'd be more than willing to tell her. I'm sure she's only heard one side, but I also know I know that I heard a friend of mine told me that he read somewhere on social media that she did meet her biological mother.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Was she raised by your ex-wife?
Yes,
Oh, she
yes.
was raised. So she only has that side of the story that you're saying. If she wanted to know your side, that you could have a conversation with her.
I'd be glad to. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'd feel it would have to come from her because if I presented myself, I would feel like I was trying to defend myself, and I don't feel I have to defend myself.
Mm.
If she came and said she wanted to know the truth, I'd be glad to talk with her.
Yeah. When was the last time you spoke to your ex-wife before she passed?
In court, when she was trying to get more child support,
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
she did that a year before child support was running out.
And how long ago was that, would you say?
20, I'm gonna guess 2016.
Mm. Have you had the conversation with yourself or in your mind, have you thought about what it would be like to talk to JC? Like, what would you say? Uh, would you be able to answer her questions? Has that played through your mind?
Not until recently. I'd be, yeah. I have a little curiosity as to what it would be like. I mean, I kind of like to. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. I wouldn't have a problem uh, talking with her at all.
And you said that she met her biological mom. Do you know if she's still alive?
That I don't.
Okay. Okay.
I don't. But yeah, I'm not. Uh, we had done a 48. We were interviewed when the case was ruled on by the appellate court, and the
Uh-huh.
case we were both me and my former wife were interviewed by 48 hours,
Hmm.
and I know that. I think JC has talked to the producer that produced that episode,
Hmm.
and I've talked to her maybe two or three times in the past several years, and I mean, if that would be one way I could. I don't even know what she looks like. If she was sitting next to me, I wouldn't know.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I can only imagine. But what's the biggest misconception you wanted to clear up? Because I know you wrote this story and wrote your memoir really to tell it from your perspective and set the story straight. What is the biggest misconception you would want the person reading this book or someone who knows this story to know about you?
I would like people to. I there was no logical reason for me to become a parent or my ex-wife to
Hmm.
become a parent at
Yeah.
that time. It it was impractical. I
Hmm.
was broke. I was starting a new career. We had no place to live. It was just it
Yeah.
was ludicrous. So yeah, and it didn't come across like that in the media. It came across that I at the last minute decided I didn't want a child.
Mm.
That wasn't it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't logical to
Yeah.
be doing that at that time.
Yeah.
And I just kind of felt that I made that choice to do what I was doing for all those years. And so one of the things I wasn't able to do is have a family. I didn't, it wouldn't have been fair to a family.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a family conducive lifestyle.
Yeah. So essentially, you and your ex-wife, she decides she wants a child, and you thought you were going to help her have this child, but it wasn't, you weren't going to have anything to do with the child because you all were divorcing. And then
Yeah.
after the fact, she sues you for custody, I mean, for child support and for all that parental.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, well, before the court came down with their decision, she was doing interviews saying, "Oh, John would be such a good father. He doesn't know what he's missing out
mm,
on."
mm,
And as soon as I was named the father, before the court made the
yeah,
decision, it was J.C. Bazanca. The day after I was named the father, became J.C. her last name,
her last
and
name.
she wanted child support.
Wow. Wow. And
Yeah,
so,
I mean, yeah, just when you think you can't make it a bigger mistake, you
yeah,
go from getting busted to getting ripped off and being put in harm's way again.
yeah,
You think those would be the two biggest mistakes.
yeah.
Well, I topped that.
You topped it. So what's going on with you today? Are you happy? Did you ever remarry? What's going on with you today?
Did not remarry, but I am happy.
Good.
I'm 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 totally okay. I mean, for
Good.
all that's happened, I I'm not bitter about anything.
Yeah.
I made it through it. I am pretty low maintenance. I have a great job. I work
Mm.
with a great law firm,
Yeah.
and I'm no, yeah, I have really no complaints. I'm pretty good health.
Good. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Good. So now that the book is out, The Smuggler's Daughter, how do you feel now? Now the story's out there, people can read it, they can make their own judgment, but your side of the story's out. How do you feel now about that?
I'm glad because when I talk with friends, you know, we have a lot of laughs about it because it's all behind me now, and
Right.
it really is. You gotta. I have to laugh at myself. I don't take it.
You
I'm
live
not
the
gonna
life.
beat. Yeah, I'm not gonna beat myself up. It's
Yeah.
over. That's how it was. It just
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
So we've had some good laughs about it, and I think it's interesting and entertaining.
Yeah.
So I hope I think people would. I mean, you see a lot what's out there as far
Yeah.
as television and
Yeah.
other things, and this is all true. This is
Yeah.
you couldn't make this
You
up.
can't make it up. You can't
No,
make it
you,
up.
you couldn't make this up. So
Wow.
no, it's been quite a journey, and you know, I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to tell my story. I mean,
It's definitely worth telling. It's definitely worth reading for sure.
yeah, yeah, I actually it was therapeutic. I had a really good editor, and she she made it good by asking me making me explain things,
Mm-hmm.
and it was no, I had a good time writing it, and I'm real happy with it.
Well, listen, well, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. The book is called The Smuggler's Daughter. It's available on Amazon and where you buy books. And I just want to thank you again for your time. This is definitely, I can't wait to read the whole book myself.
Well,
But
thank you so much for having me.
absolutely. And we'll be right back after this.